Minutes past the hour, a memo is being released to the Justice Department that is stirring up talk across the country. In short, it recognizes same-sex unions everywhere in the country, even in states where those marriages are not legal, like Arizona. For those fighting for same-sex marriages to be recognized by the government, it's one more step toward equality.
Just as was true during the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the stakes involved in this generation's struggle for LGBT equality could not be higher.
At a human rights campaign gala, the head of the U.S. Department of Justice announced his intentions to issue today's memo calling for expanded recognition of same-sex marriages in federal legal matters.
I pledge to you tonight that we will never stop working to ensure that equality under the law is protected by the law.
The new policies are focused on federal benefits, including spousal rights concerning bankruptcies, prison visits, refusing to testify against a spouse in court, and survivor benefits for the widows and widowers of police officers and firefighters killed on the job. The new rules will even apply in the 34 states where same-sex marriage is not recognized by the state government, which critics consider Washington overreach. Attorney General Eric Holder doesn't see it that way.
Nothing less than our country's founding commitment to the notion of equal protection under the law was at stake.
Yes. Good luck, Jason.
Bye. Well, Shawn Aiken is a trial lawyer representing 4 Arizona couples challenging the state's definition that a marriage is between one man and a woman. Good morning, and thank you for coming in to talk to us about this.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
We're happy to have you because you're going to iron out a few things. What does this mean for the state of Arizona?
This does not change Arizona state law. Our lawsuit does. We can talk about that if you want. This changes the operation of divisions, let's call it, managed by the Department of Justice here in Arizona. So the Federal Bureau of Prisons, for example, is now going to allow spousal visits inside of Arizona, even though Arizona law wouldn't term the visitor a spouse.
Okay.
So think of it like a divisional change inside a company.
All right. Well, when it comes to federal law and state law, that's been controversial in a lot of different areas.
Yes.
When it comes to the state of Arizona, Kathy Herod, who is the president of the conservative group Center for Arizona Policy, she says she's going to be watching this quite closely as well.
Well, I appreciate that, but the thing to watch is the lawsuit that my clients filed earlier this year in January. That's the only vehicle for change of state law, and that's going to require a change by a federal judge. So
do you look at this as something that's in favor of what you're attempting to do with your particular case?
Well, very much. It's a significant change in policy, but it follows on the heels of a Supreme Court case last June anyway. And so it just squares up with that law.
One of the things she is saying is that those who are in favor of same-sex marriage are just trying to get through the courts what they couldn't get from voters. What do you say to that?
Well, what I say to that is the courts are there to ensure that voters don't wrongly discriminate against certain groups of people. It's never been the law that voters are allowed to do what is otherwise unconstitutional. So federal judges, federal courts, and state courts are there to check unconstitutional measures by voters.
All right. Well, thank you for your insight this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.